Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm Nancy Mazo at Notably Nancy. You can contact me at notablynancy@gmail.com, and on my channel I talk about tips, tricks, and trending issues for online teachers. Okay, now today you've got this. It's the Eat Right Reset Challenge. Um, and before I start, I want to give you a little bit of background in terms of my own history. Okay, I come from a home where my husband and I raised 7 children, plus we had a few foster children over the years, but our house, I always call it Grand Central Station, okay? It's a big family. The meals were coming, the food was coming, the friends were sleeping over. It rocked, okay? And I loved it. Now, my youngest, my baby, is turning 19 tomorrow. So we went from that big, rambunctious household to my husband and we are spending I think it's about our third week of being empty nesters. My daughter got married in June. Okay, so I'm used to cooking a lot of food and eating a lot of food and eat, cook, stretch, stretch, stretch. And food is just like happening here all the time, okay? But what I noticed, and especially during the coronavirus, it's like I was sitting teaching or I was in the kitchen making food and I was eating, and even the idea of not fitting into the dress I was wearing to my daughter's wedding, which I like mushed myself into, was not a motivation for me to like get my act together in the eating department. But okay, so the thing was, I did mush into the dress. That was really good. I didn't look like I would have liked to look in the dress, but it really was a wake-up call for me to say, like, okay, there are 2 of us in the house now, and I need to get myself under control. And what I'm noticing, I actually did not make this video because I've been on my new eating plan for 3 weeks and I didn't even want to make it until I could really come back to you and say, like, this works, I recommend it. And please stay till the end of this video because at the end I have a very special freebie that I want to share with you. Okay, so my issue was that before Corona, I was hiking. Those of you on my channel know that I was part of a hiking group, and I really love that. It seems like with Corona and the lockdown, I was getting less and less exercise. I was teaching more and more. When I teach, I sit or I'm in the kitchen. Now, the other wake-up call that happened for me since I've been on this plan, usually during the weekends, I have my married kids over, and one Friday night I made a big lasagna that my daughter and I were not eating because we were already like eating differently. And what I noticed was at the end of the meal, and this was a scary thought, half the lasagna was still there. So when I did the math, I thought to myself, uh-oh, does that mean that my daughter and I each ate a quarter of the lasagna by ourselves? Okay, the other wake-up call I had is when I made chocolate chip cookies, I always said to myself, whoa, I can't believe it. Like, this recipe doesn't make very many cookies. The last time I made this recipe, I have to be honest with you, I said, okay, I'm not tasting, I'm not taking a spoonful, this and that. The recipe made, I'm embarrassed to say, at least a dozen more cookies. So that meant that without even thinking about it, I was like eating the batter of 12 cookies. And you know what? Honestly, it was not hard to do. But I decided that I needed to change all that. And that's what my video today is about, because what I changed, you can change. And I think it will just give you so much more joy to your life and energy and everything else. So I want to share with you what I've been doing lately and what I want to continue to do. And, I'm not calling it even a diet. I'm not calling it, I did call it a food plan, but I really want to call it a lifestyle change and like taking care of yourself and doing what's good for you. And the other thing I want to say about it is I always thought in the past that eating healthy was expensive, but what I found out was that you can eat healthy on a budget, and some of the best foods for you and the most natural foods for you, you'll end up like saving money and not eating junk. So I want to really talk about that today. Let's get into it. Okay, the first thing that is so important, and I didn't even realize this until a few weeks ago, is to drink enough water. Okay, and you should be drinking, they say 8 glasses a day. I'm overseas, so we go by liters. And what that is, and here's my big bottle. That's drinking like a bottle this size of 2 liters of water a day. Okay, now for me, in order to keep track of that, I use these 500 milliliter bottles, the small take with you bottles of water, and I know that I need to drink 4 of these a day. Okay, my big treat is where I live, there's hard water. To me, it wasn't so tasty, and therefore from the tap, I wasn't really drinking as much as I needed. So I started buying bottled water, and it's like my treat, and to me, it's really tasty, and it really helps me to enjoy the water. So tip number 1 is at least 2 liters of water a day. It's summertime. Where I live, I don't have air conditioning. It gets hot and I need to stay hydrated. And being hydrated will give you so much energy. I keep these bottles with me. I keep where I'm teaching, and I've said this before, a big bottle of water like down on the floor. In between classes, I drink. It's like I teach a lot of younger levels and I'm doing a lot of the talking. I call it teachertainment or edutainment. And I'm thirsty between classes. I don't drink during, but between classes I drink. Okay, that's number 1, get enough water. Number 2 tip that I learned about, and you probably know it, is eat breakfast. Don't skip meals. Okay, I in the past was great at getting everybody else breakfast before they went out to school. I also was great at eating their leftovers, but that wasn't really serving me well. But now I do eat breakfast, and what I eat for breakfast is I have oatmeal, a piece of fruit, and that's my complex carbohydrate. The fruit is really yummy in it, and I have a protein. So I either have an egg or a yogurt, and the yogurt I'm talking about is not the yogurt with the chocolate balls in it, not even the yogurt with the fruit in it, because if you read the ingredients, you'll see there's like so much sugar in it. It's like eating sugar. Okay, that brings me to point number 3. Okay, point number 3, and this is your challenge for this week, and I want you to try it for a week. Okay, it's like the first step. Take sugar out of your diet. Okay, I did not know how I was going to do this. I let myself have 2 cups of coffee in the morning, and I was kind of like, coffee without sugar? If it's coffee without sugar, like, who even wants it? But I made myself do that, and I started noticing, number 1, I wasn't gulping down the coffee. I was enjoying the coffee. I'm being honest with you. It took about a week to get used to that. The coffee without sugar is really different, but it's really worthwhile. And what I noticed was that as the weeks went by, I wasn't having like blood sugar spikes and drops and crashes. And the other bad habit that I got into was between classes, if I had like half an hour or something or a window in my schedule, I'd run out and like grab whatever was around, okay, which you can't do. You have to be planned out. So again, my challenge to you is try to take sugar, the sugar you see, the white sugar, the processed sugar, out of your diet, and you'll notice that you'll start feeling so much better. Now, I'm talking about the sugar you're adding as we go on, and I hope to do future videos about this. If you guys are interested, we'll be like doing healthier things, and little by little you'll get healthy and you'll see that you'll drop weight. Your energy level is going to be so much better, and physically you're going to feel so much better, and your attitude is going to be so much better. Okay, so I don't even know if this book exists anymore. The last time I was in the States, I bought it. This is not a paid promotion. I'm just sharing it with you to let you know kind of what direction I went in, and I've gone on, like, over the years, a lot of diets and a lot of things, and I'm just really excited about this. Okay, so let me show you the book, and then I'll talk a little bit more about what it's about. Okay, the history of this book is the last time I went to America, which I think was about 10 years ago, my sister dropped me off at the airport like 8 hours early before my international flight was leaving, and I had to figure out like what to do in those hours. So I was at the Atlanta airport, and I love reading, and so I like cased out a number of the bookstores in my 8 hours, and I probably could have like known every book on every shelf of every bookstore. But what I found was this clean eating diet, and it's this Toscarino, and basically her philosophy is that being in shape, she's a bodybuilder actually, but her philosophy is that being in shape is 80% what you eat, 10% genetics, and 10% exercise. So I was kind of like, oh good, like I don't love exercising. If it's only 10%, I could like make it into 10% of what I do. I'm going to look on Amazon and see if this book still exists, or if a newer version of it still exists, and if it does, I'll put it in the description box. She's basically for healthy eating, back to the basics eating, and you'll see you'll stop eating processed foods and get back to the basics. It saves you money. It's so much healthier. But like in what am I trying to say? In upcoming videos, if you're interested, like I'll share more with you. Okay, the other thing that I did that really made a giant difference for me is I took white flour out of my diet. Okay, white flour I don't use anymore. I'm a big baker. I love baking breads, and I love baking cakes, cookies, anything baked. Like, I love it. It's one of my hobbies, but I decided that the white flour wasn't good for me. It really wasn't good for anyone in my family, and these days I'm using either whole wheat flour, pure whole wheat flour, whole spelt flour is one that I love, and what I like to bake with if I'm baking breads is 70% whole wheat. I know that the 100% is healthier. I don't feel like for bread and rising and everything, it does as well. Okay, but those are the basics. And as we go on, I'll share more and more with you because I'm really excited about it. I'm really feeling so much better. My stomach's not puffed out, and I feel so much more energy of not having these like sugar and processed carbohydrate ups and downs. I mean, it's just amazing and unbelievable, and I want you to also experience it. So now for my freebie. Okay, my freebie, and please send me your email and I'll send you this freebie. This freebie is a recipe for pita bread. Now, how I got this recipe is because my daughter's best friend's parents ran a bakery in Jerusalem for years and years and years, and this was their recipe. Okay, it's so easy. I'm going to send it to you, and it makes delicious, delicious pitot. These pitot are oven baked. Okay, and I want to show you an example of what it looks like. Okay. Okay, here's an oven baked pita that I made. This recipe, which is a kilogram of spelt flour, but you can use any flour. You can use white flour. No, you can't. Not if you watch this video. You can use spelt. You can use 100% whole wheat. You can use 70% whole wheat. Like, experiment and try different flours. Okay, what you need for this recipe, and I'll send it to you, is flour, really a scant amount of sugar that helps your yeast rise, yeast, oil, and salt and water. And like you'll see when you get the recipe, you mix it up in one bowl. It looks really liquidy, and 1 kilo of flour, which I think is 2.2 pounds, but you'll have to check that out, makes about 30 to 36 of these size pitots. So it really rises, and it's not a dough like a bread dough. It's like really liquidy, like you need to put it on your cookie sheet with a spoon, and you'll see more with the recipe. It has, what makes it really yummy is it has like a little bit, and I've really also gone down on these portions even though it's healthy. I spread a little bit of olive oil on the top, and then I put spices. And you can put what spices or vegetables that you like on top, but I use za'atar, which I'll have to find out for you what that is. It's a Middle Eastern spice, sesame seeds. Sometimes I put some paprika for color, and granulated garlic. And I can't tell you, I don't miss bread. I mean, it is my bread, but I don't get that white flour poof in my stomach, and it feels so good to be eating right, and I really recommend it for all of you. So please, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel. I'd love for you to become part of our community. Send me an email, notablynancy@gmail.com, for your free pita recipe. And I'm telling you, it's so simple and it's so fun to make. You will love it. I'm trying to distribute it from a little mom and pop bakery in Jerusalem worldwide. And I think you'll really enjoy it. Please let me know if you want to hear more of these lifestyle videos about my diet journey. And the last thing I want to add is, okay, back to VIP Kid and TEFL. I am in module 4 of my TEFL work, okay, and I told you I'd give you an update. It is taking me the 20 hours that VIP Kid estimated that it would take, but please, please get it for yourself. It's so good for your career, and in addition to that, you'll learn so much about just everything about teaching online and how you can really maximize what you're doing. So that's it. Goodbye. Happy teaching. Please let me know what you think about this video. Take sugar out of your diet challenge. I want to know from you in the comments or next week, like how it's going for you. And as always, happy teaching. Take care. Goodbye.